See, we all think if only we have a second chance, something works out. But it can be something working out because of your extraordinary effort. That's okay. But there are so many small things in daily life that we can perceive as uh, as more like a beautiful bridge, you know. So you to something positive, something that is really good for you or people around you, whatever like that, right? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So this is the theme of second chances, the silent grace in everyday life. Okay, so this is a bridge between my modern medical sensibility with the ageless rhythm of Vedantic renewal. Is it? So let's see what I'm talking about. Every dawn, every day when we get up, um, we have the silent grace in our everyday life, right? So the world awakens as if nothing was broken yesterday, right? And perhaps that is the nature's greatest teaching. Life constantly offers second chances, not as grand gestures that may, but as gentle reminders that awareness itself is renewal. I worked as a physician for many years, right? And also now as a wellness coach. Um, so I have seen second chances not in miracles, but in micro renewals, what I call. A patient deciding to walk again and not giving up after injury, after stroke, of so many things, right? Or a caregiver is very patient over frustration. So he chooses, or he or she, the caregiver, remarkable people. And the leader is pausing before reacting. All these are the subtle acts through which human beings reclaim their wholeness. So there is the ancient wisdom which talks about inner science of renewal. For example, in Advaita Vedanta, which is the philosophy I have understood and that is remarkable to me, we learned that in Advaita Vedanta means the knowledge about we are all being in oneness, right? We learned that every moment we awaken from the spell of thought, we return to the self, that inner being, which is vast, untainted, and timeless. We're all in one energy, right? This awareness itself is a rebirth. Okay, that's one example. If you take the modern medicine that heals the body, awareness is the continuity of self-inflicted suffering through wrong thinking and all that. So each time we move from reaction to reflection or from resentment to forgiveness, we perform an invisible surgery on the soul. The scar tissue of the past dissolves through understanding. So let's say practices for daily second chances. See, they're not waiting in a distant horizon. They live in each mindful breath. So you could try these daily acts of renewal. First, I will list them as I listed in my article. One is always pause and observe. So whenever something encounters you, what you want to do is let me take a deep breath before reacting. That kind of reclaims your power to choose. Okay, you are not impulsive, you are kind of intentional. Okay, so pause and observe. And second thing is learn to forgive quickly. Every grudge is unprocessed pain. Let it transmute into understanding. Look at the point of view of the other person or the situation that transforms itself. That's the second thing. Forgiving easily. Let it go. Don't cling on. Okay. And third thing is always re-choose love, whether towards self or others. Choose love again and again and again, re-choosing the love that will come back to our loving self, right? That is the third one. And the fourth one is when you are serving somebody, giving something, do it silently. Give the time, give the attention or a smile without seeking a return and see the miracle that happens. That's the fourth one. Serving, that means giving without any expectation, but give something like your time, your attention, your smile, whatever. Okay. Random act of kindness. That's all serving silently. And then always try to begin anew. That means at any moment, whisper inwardly, now begins my second chance. Okay? Not the first chance of reaction, but responding with your wholeness. Okay? So, as a physician, I have seen second chances occur in silence between heartbeats when a patient's fear loosens and brings back his courage, when someone realizes that they are not their illness, but the life force behind it. See, when someone realizes they are not their illness, but illness happened to them, and they are the life force behind it. It can overcome the illness too. So awareness is the eternal healer, always waiting for recognition. You are not aware, but you are in thought, then know about that. When we turn inward, even briefly, we stand where time passes, right? And grace begins. Once again, when we turn inward with intuition, even briefly, we stand where time passes. Time is nothing but the thought, yesterday or tomorrow, but you are in this moment. So every moment of awareness is a resurrection, resurrection, right? So I don't know, it makes a difference for you, but it does make a difference for me in so many ways. If life seems heavy, remember this: the divine script is never final. Okay? Awareness is your pen. You can revise your life's paragraph anytime you wish. One breath, one act of love, one pause at a time. Okay? Second chances are not given by the world, they are born in awareness, in your intention. Right? So, this is something we could expand and look at daily life from morning till evening. And that really helps us to revise everything on the spot. Cecilia was talking about being intentional about coming and contributing even for 10 minutes. That's what I'm highlighting here. Okay, then you can discover the second chance in regular life. So, Janet, Peter, anybody who wants to come up and ask me anything on this, add more, please do that. Okay. As I look at life every day afresh, that is when I don't allow the oncoming thoughts, my opinions, my uh, conclusions, judgments, they're not there. So, starting the day in presence, that really leads me to uh, be here and now in the present moment and pay attention to whatever I'm doing. Okay. And then each moment is given complete attention. And by that, I can identify the pessimism, negativity, or just pulling me back from something I can be intentional about, right? So somebody calls me, and then I could say, I don't have the time for you. I can do that. Rather, what I choose there is, okay, what is that we are like to look for an answer, or you want to tell me what's going on? And once I understood, is it very important, or is it something I could postpone for the next hour or so if I am occupied with that? So just me being curious about what is that going on and why they're calling, and that itself helps them that I listen to their concern, and then I'm going to give time for them, helps them, right? So never go by the time, but go by the what is going on in the man's life or woman's life, and how can I help now or later according to the other things. So it always works. It always works because they are happy that I'm going to really pay attention to them with full attention later after the initial things I have occupied with are done. And I do come back. If I cannot do it when I day and all that, I will tell them. But if it is really emergency, I always have room for that. So whatever in that being aware of that suffering or that helplessness or that weakness or whatever they are going through, just being available to that really helps them a lot. So that's how I start the day. Okay. And then there are people who have apartments, and obviously we are going to maintain that. But afterwards, we can get back to them, even for a briefly, or maybe text, or maybe something that can really help them um, as I prepare for the talk later on. So somebody who this lady helps people who are in menopause. Okay, and she was going to tell them there's all the hormones, don't worry about it. But they don't have that. They continuously think about it and they react to it and all that, right? So I told her, okay, you are training them that way, but then you go something deeper and tell them that movement of thought is not something that they can aggravate all their suffering with, or they can reduce their suffering. And I'm going to talk about in detail. Then we went into the detail. It so happened that lady thinks a lot, and she's burning out about that. But then when she understood it, she was able to help her, clients or her friends, whoever she is helping. She was able to relate to them as human being and understand them because she was not thinking and not being in the present, but she is in the present, observing her own thoughts and then relating to them her own experience, how it felt her when she is free from the continuous thoughts that go on, right? So think about that. So you will have chances to be aware and to switch from the recurrent thought, cyclical thought, or going into the past, or digging up things and worrying about them, or worrying something danger in the future and imagining that, versus let me see what I can do in this moment. Let me come out of the train thought and then see what I can do. That kind of chance is there all the time. That's why I title this more like a second chances, the silent grace in everyday life. You have second chance for everything, right? And that's the grace I'm talking about. And that grace is within us. That awareness is within us. That means you are alert. Alert awareness is nothing but you are awake to the moment, you are alert, and you are not caught in the train of thought. That means thoughtless, alert awakeness is the awareness we are talking about. That is fundamental to us. But we build on the thoughts on top of it and we get carried away. Like, suppose something is going to happen with a patient. That's what I say with my colleague. They are so worried about what may go wrong and how it may take away their license. and how may they will be in trouble, they lose all the economic things and everything. But once I tell them, but what about here and now? The patient is in front of you with a condition. Relate with that. Just to be intellectually available to listen to whatever suffering going on in front of you. Then your technical background, your medical knowledge background, all your professionalism, everything come to aid of the patient. And then you diagnose, you treat, and then uh, you are completely satisfying the patient because patient is seeing that you are listening to him and you are concerned about his suffering. You want to help him. Don't have to describe it. By the way we listen, we do things, they get it. So you may be very intellectually blessed and you are expressing in a beautiful language and you are articulate and all that. But if you don't have this inner feeling of kindness, compassion, friendliness, and treating the human being as human being, they can feel it. Unspoken language, how you relate to people. Okay, you don't have to agree with them everything, but you don't have to cross them either. But just be open by not having your own chatter in your mind. So people, I see physicians come and say, oh, this is the moment I go there, they give me this list of patients I have to see that day, maybe 17, 18 patients or 25 patients. And the very fact there are so many kind of drains me. So that's what allowing the thought to overwhelm you, but being aware of that I am here for a purpose. I am ready to help these people. So let them be 25 or more, but I will only pay attention to one person at a time. That's why multitasking is kind of makes you think a lot. So you are not really available, uh, you know, intellectually, emotionally, physically when you're doing so many tasks. So learn to do one task at a time every day, and with awareness that comes through much well. So whatever you are doing, you be attentive, you be aware of what you are doing. Then that becomes so much easier. What do you say? And then after you go after your duties, whatever duties you are doing one at a time with full attention and awareness. Then when you go to sleep at night, you have much less clutter to clear. So you sleep much faster, better, and deeper. That's the secret of being attentive all day to everything that we do and really eliminating that clutter as we go. This is called present moment to moment awareness. That means you're going to use the instrument of thought every time, and also you don't want to hold all the thoughts that happen during that encounter. Make sense? So that's why this present moment to moment awareness makes me sleep better at night and then repair my body and the mind better. No real deep sleep when you're having so many dreams or so many agitations. Basically, in philosophical circles, they call about having the dreams is like you have allowed so many thoughts reside, and the mind is trying to rest them or really settle them. And that's why the dream stage is not real deep sleep, but like the attempt of the mind to keep itself in order. But if you don't have many thoughts to begin with, that means you have eliminated as you are operating every day. Okay? Then you are not clinging to the thoughts, the residue of thoughts, the impressions of thoughts, the reactions of thoughts, and all that. And then when you go to sleep, you have a much better sleep. Okay? So let me see. Peter is coming up as usual. Peter is my friend. He always comes to talk to me about what I'm talking about makes sense to him or not. Oh, again, try again, Peter. I don't know. It doesn't work first time all the time.
Ah,
How are you, Peter?
stay, Doctor.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Um, so when you were talking about like the sleep cycle, that's what really
Yeah.
I didn't resonate with me. But I just want to share like my experience with uh, going to sleep at night, like turning off the phone, not having your phone
Yeah.
in your palm of your hand when you get into bed. That's really helped me a lot. I don't do a lot of television. I certainly don't watch it at night. But that's really helped my sleep cycle tremendously.
Yeah.
Tremendously. And I think there was a time where I was just like, either the TV had to be on or the phone in my hand. I felt like, I'm tired, but I'm not completely drowsy. So maybe I'm just going to scroll a little bit or watch a little bit of TV until I get tired.
Big mistake.
The thoughts are racing.
Yeah.
Caught up in other stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you have that experience there, Peter. Let's go a little deeper into that. Okay.
Sure.
Suppose you're talking to people, right? And you're not just talking, you are reacting. Suppose I'm very insulting in my tone or condescending or saying you don't know anything, I'm going to tell you. You will have reaction, right? Without you knowing, your emotional centers react. Okay. Those are more powerful than just information. Because because you have invested in yourself. That is getting insulted, that is getting, say go and all that. But at the time you don't have time to even to notice it, you have a reaction come up, right? Then that reaction is going to stay there for a while unless you go and reflect and then eliminate that gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is, suppose I'm talking to a phone, our phone is talking to me. There are maybe something comes up with the Nobel Peace Prize, and you have a reaction. Yeah, we had to give Nobel Prize for killing so many people in the Gaza. You see, our own opinion, our own reaction to the daily life. Okay. And then you can be a humanist. You don't have to be a Republican. You may vote as a Republican, but still you're a humanist. You react to the news items like that.
Right.
See, our own prejudices, our own inclinations come up without us knowing. And that is the second chance you have where you can say, why am I reacting with this opinion?
Yeah.
So
that's super important, especially in today's day and age with everything going on.
Actually, this has become a problem because a lot of elderly people who have seen better days, even me, when I came to the 80s, how America was and how America is now, I can see the degeneration.
Yeah.
Right? So I can say, oh my God, this is not bad, and then say, this is all because of the fault of so and so and so and so. Right? Do I do that? That's the question.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say, I'm good, that's why I don't do it, I'm bad, that's why I do it. No, that's not it. The fact is, there was a reaction, and then I'm holding the reaction, I'm carrying on the reaction. But if you are really in the present moment, awareness, moment to moment, what does it mean is that you don't carry the reactions for the next moment.
Right.
And the formula is very simple. Just like I paid attention to this, pay complete attention to the next moment.
Yeah.
See, I told several times this works for me in the patient care. When I was running the clinic or even now, what happens is a series of consultations are there today, for example. And one consult is the person is really suffering because he's steeped in the thought and it is holding him completely, right? So you got to expose all that, you got to revive his own inner strength and all that awareness, and then they can see that. The moment they see that, that's a miracle for them. But meanwhile, what is happening to me? Do I absorb whatever Peter expressed to me, whatever Peter said to me, or I let it go? So movement to movement awareness of the complete movement is the way to go about it.
Right. I think there's another. I'm going to come back up. If
Yeah.
That's okay.
Sure. Nobody comes up, only you are coming up, Peter. I don't know whether I don't make sense or they don't have interest. I don't understand. I think these are, I do come and do them again anyway, because maybe it will touch one, it will touching you. That's good enough.
No, it's making sense. It's definitely making sense.
Yeah.
And the other day when I was talking to you, I couldn't hear you that well. I was walking with the dog, but I wanted to bring back up to you, like, it's, so you think of the negative thoughts. Someone says something to you, it doesn't sit well with you, and you're kind of ruminating on it. But I also think that I find that in like what I've done or have a tendency to do is sometimes when I'm thinking about, I may be in a very neutral space, right? And I just start daydreaming, right? Just about like delusions of grandeur, or maybe like, I'd love to manifest that or this. You're still daydreaming, and even though it's a positive thing, maybe it's a something that you want to accomplish.
That is the trap, Peter. That's the trap.
Yeah.
Because it may seem good. For example, I can revel on somebody praising, right?
Right.
No, they think so much about me. All that is really not important for me to retain. See, on the other hand, I say I give without expectation. But my ego is expecting acceptance, admiration, respect, and all that. Because I'm aware of that in the moment, I don't allow that to grow. You know why important? This is a recurrent feeding like that, crystallizes that kind of thinking.
That kind of thinking, right? I agree, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I think it can be almost as, if not just as dangerous, I think.
Yeah, it's dangerous, and also it kind of forms a network that's out of your control. Why are you acting from the limbic system, emotional centers, rather than your frontal cortex? That's because you are building the lower system in that concretized road that takes over.
Right.
That's why to be in the awareness in the morning is very important, because the ongoing thought train is not initiated because it comes from yesterday. That's why that exercise of waking up and being in the thoughtless awareness for a while in the present moment and delaying consciously the train of thought. And that makes such a difference for the mind to live in the present moment.
Yeah.
We are reacting. We are not responding. That's why what do we say? Pause and take deep breath.
Right.
And then establish, see, the culture, the information age, and everything coming at us, all those things are geared to get your attention. Right? And then we are succumbing to it without really thinking the deeper consequences. First consequence is lack of sleep, lack of deep sleep. Your body may be exhausted, but then your mind doesn't stop. So then what happens is that detoxification of the mind and the body doesn't happen.
I think about, I talked about TV a little while ago, but I think about the bombardment of consumerism, capitalism. Like it's not like it's constantly coming at us from all types of technology, whether you have your phone, you're streaming, or you're watching television. Like it's a targeted assault on our psychology.
But
it keeps us.
But that is outside.
Yeah.
You have the capacity to cut it off. That is when you are in the movement.
I agree.
Yeah. See, the question for you, Peter, is a very important question. Is do you say and blame the external world? It is like they're feeding me, doing this, or you can see that you are not putting your intention of being in the present.
Oh no, I know it's me. It's me. The external world is going to be what it is. Yeah, I 100% know it's me. Like there was a time when I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But now I absolutely know. Like if I'm drifting, if I'm going into sustained consecutive ruminating thought, it's all me. There's no excuses.
Very good point, because you are different from the thoughts that are coming either from the outside or from yours.
Yeah.
So you separate it.
Yeah.
You separate and you identify thoughts are happening to whom? To me. Who is that me? This is the key of being in the meditative awareness.
Right.
Not doing so much of calming down, all this is okay. But the meditative awareness is establishing yourself in awareness. Okay? And then what happens is you continue in the awareness, so you don't have to slow down the thought because thoughts are not overwhelming you. So that's why I don't do meditation, but I am in a state of meditative awareness.
I learned that from you because
Yeah.
I was caught in the trap. Like if I'm meditating, it's fine. It's not. It's one layer of it maybe,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's the same thing as the Frenchman said. Like I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He said, I think, therefore I am. And that means you are mistakenly identifying the thoughts that are happening either from the past or from the current stimuli or whatever. But that's an important phenomenon to solve our life's problems outside. But inside, if you want a cleaner, you remember the saying I was telling about Ramana Maharshi taught me, which said, one's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self with a big S, not the ego itself, but then
Right.
beyond that, that human force, life force we have as awareness, that is us.
Right.
See, we always know thinking happening to us, but we mistake we are that thinking because Rene Descartes said that. I think, therefore I am. But if you go to the ancient cultures, what they said was, I want to be silent. I want to be serene. I want to be in the stillness that's a part of my mind function.
Yeah.
So what is happening is science goes out and gets all the objects to investigate and then develop some rules we have to follow to be safe, to be going and all that. But science doesn't investigate your subjective self. That is only you feel intuitively.
Yeah.
So you got to turn inward and do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Super important.
Yeah, why I'm against these group discussions and people are thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Dr. Rao's room and he's going to give me something, then I will think about it, then I will do it. That is too late. And also don't look at guidance like that. Stop all that and turn yourself inward and observe what are my ecogenic response. Like you said, look, I have this opinion about these people feeding us so much material. That's true, but that is not the problem for you. The problem is how you are dealing with who you are.
Right.
That's why all these things and everything, they don't give me emotional reactions. They don't give me negative emotional. Rather, oh, how can I help? How can I be kind? How can I be friendly? How can I be without being called like a teacher, guru? I never said that is egogenic. People get trapped in that and they simply say, oh, I'm so great. It's just the greatness is about being like that. Because that itself is the blessing, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, my blessing is my mind doesn't get into this cyclical thinking.
Right.
Everything is done and like I'm talking to you, I won't say, okay, what good things Peter said about me, what kind of egoistic, boosting things he said. On the other hand, don't call me teacher.
Mhm.
We are together exploring truth.
Right.
For me, this is like a satsang. Sat is
That's all.
truth. Sang is association. We are both are exploring what is truth. So now we understand thought movement. Understanding not to have the movement all the time is very important in this age. On the other hand, those people promote that, provoke that, and then they make you, sleep with the phone in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. it's really tough.
But you're a addiction expert. That's the addiction. The highest addiction people have is about thoughts.
100%. 100%. And then not even aware of it. I know that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did not give you information here. I explored with you the whole phenomena of continuous thoughts going on in your head and how to start the day without initiating the train and not getting on the train all day.
Right.
Then
when I think about it, I never really, oh gosh, I'm going to time out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, come back.
So I'm thinking about like addiction, like this is saying, it's like, you don't have a drinking problem, you have a thinking problem, right?
Exactly. That is the same with everybody else. Maybe the substances are doing damage to the body also, but this thought can be directed on its own. That is the Raja Yoga. Okay,
Right.
but for that also they require some principles like a 10 commandments in the first few steps, the first two steps, where how you are harmonized with the society. That's where I don't want to blame the society, but I would understand the society where it is going, and I'll help them to renew their own internal sources to deal with the problem that is coming from the society.
Right. But it all starts with realization of who we are, right?
Exactly. That is the
like that's a starting point.
Self-realization is the highest point. What are realizing? You are realizing who you really are.
Right.
You are not the thoughts. Thoughts happen to you. But you are that awareness in which thoughts are happening. So thought is like a sky. You are the sky. And thoughts are happening as clouds in the turmoils or whatever. So once you have that perspective, that vast, always present, eternal self is you. That is, they called in ancient Brahman. In China and over they call Tao. So when I talk to people like Martin or Mark, and I always told them, you guys are talking about something not thought, but you are in thought embedded. They can't relate to this because if you are in thought, then you are only resonate with people who are in thought.
Are in thought.
But if you are not in that, then you can see the thought going on, good uses and all that, but it becomes your servant. It doesn't become you. So what is happening with the modern age is everybody is a servant of the thought process, and it has this machine learning thing. It can learn the thoughts by itself and establish that concretized roads like pathways. So brain reacts to with that. See, you can have stimuli from outside, but the most of the stimuli you have are inside. Your own opinion about yourself, your own image you built up, and then your own ego, personality. That's why I say, don't be in that persona. You are not that. You have the persona, but that is overwhelming you. That means it is owning you.
Right.
Be in the presence. Persona versus presence. You remember I talked about it several times.
Yeah. And what's helped me a lot is just like perceiving, right?
Yeah.
The ability to perceive what is.
Yeah.
And
that's a big deal. Big deal. Look at this.
Yeah.
Data versus present moment. Okay. If you are going by the data for the problems you want to solve, like I want to build a bridge, I want to do a building, I want to do the best practices, that's okay. Progressive learning and refining. That's fine.
Right.
But when you allow your mind to be taken away by that data of opinions in the human relationship, basically, and then our relation to the world. So here, let me introduce the first step of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which is about how can you be harmony with the world. They teach you, first thing is always speak the truth. Okay, don't be violent. Okay, don't steal stuff from other people. Okay, and also be celibate and don't waste your energies indiscriminately. And then
That's big.
fifth one is don't accumulate things.
Right.
That thing accumulation is the problem of modern America.
Big time.
They want spiritual, meditative silence and all that, but then use it to make more buildings, more things. That's why these people who sell the courses and everything. They personally are addicted to something. And these scandals come out. So be harmonious by being inner strength and then understanding the world, and then you be a contributor, not a criticizer. That's the yama they call it. Because if you live by violence, if you live by untruth, if you live by accumulation of things and stealing things, and then if you live a indiscriminate sexual energy going all over, that's the problem of the modern world. Is we are really slave to the so many things that we don't want, but then we get sucked into it. You know about everything very good about it, because your drug addiction, coming out of it, now helping people, is based on that.
Yeah.
There's no life in that indulgence, but then break out of it, but you have become addicted to it because you lost the capacity to overcome it. Now we are reintroducing them, and then they get the capacity. So it's all inner thing, especially human beings, Peter, because we are not only instinct, but we also have the intelligence to overcome that instinct.
Right.
So if you allow, you can have sex even at 80 years of age, and that's something like a food, and you are losing something very valuable to learn how to transmute that energy.
Transmutation of that energy. That's such powerful energy.
Yeah, that is the thing. That can be started every day. Get up in the morning. Don't allow the thoughts to come into you. That means all the outflow flow, everything else, keep it there. And then, another thing is, right now, I can be exposed to any amount of information from everybody. But I'm established in my inner self. So all your noise, everything that's coming outward, doesn't make a difference for me.
That's beautiful.
That is possible for everybody, Peter. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody.
Yeah.
But they want to listen to what they think, what they understand. That's the only thing. They don't see where they have avidya, lack of education or ignorance of this truth. See, not only your inner self is very serene, but your intellect, your emotional self, and all that, they have an intelligence. If you allow them to operate, like I'm allowing the intelligence to operate, to come and tell you what I'm experiencing, what am I doing, what is possible as a human being, is intelligent. Not thinking person, but using the thinking intelligently. This is the awakening the intelligence. Read that book by J. Krishnamurti. That's the title.
Awakening the Intelligence.
Awakening the Intelligence. I understood him in 1980s. Ever since, I have more energy in life, but not consumed by external events.
Yeah.
What a gift that is. We have that already within us. But the thing is, our mistaken philosopher said, I think, therefore I am. Actually, Eric, he was not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He was trying to establish some base of who I am. Think about it. The problem was ancients looked at the consciousness as the big deal, but whereas moderns think thinking as the big deal. And then becoming slave to the cyclical thinking, and that is reinforcing. The machine language is right there. That intelligence is there, but this artificial intelligence, what it's doing, it is building up the things that is had learned, and then reinforcing those and going from there to there, and now to the point where they have control over our mind. It's not in the future, it's already there.
I found it. Okay, found it on Amazon.
Yeah. And read that book. That's a very a series of talks of him. You see, when he introduced me to this, are you thinking and then you say, I am that thinking? Or do you use the thinking for practical purposes But for inner self, you kind of observe the thoughts.
Yeah.
That's such a liberation. Such a liberation. But the thing is, everybody else is caught in the thoughts. They cannot relate to that because they never experienced the silence of the thought.
There's so much peace in it too. There's so much peace in it. It's I can't even explain it. It's just
that is it's not peaceful. It is the peace itself.
Yeah.
No noise, no chatter. Use it when you need, and then stop it. That is present moment awareness, moment to moment. This was such a tremendous difference for me in the 80s, Peter. I was so, what is this? What is he talking about? Thought is not good. We were always thinking that's why we are like this and all. But then once I understood the proper function of the thought, everything opened up. So peaceful. So good.
Namaste, my friend. Thank you so much.
Sure. Bye-bye. So even Peter comes up. The depths we explore these things not as some big deal, and it's not that. Two human beings are exposing the human problems. He is also familiar with addiction because he is trying to help so many people on that. So when we explore the truth, and people who are listening, they may also explore. Don't take the word as truth from me or from Peter. We are just human beings. Two of them are exploring the truth. That's why I call this as satsangs of the ancients. People who are taking truth on any matter, they are kind of, they're coming and exploring that. That way, it becomes their own property at the end of that investigation. Hello, Sivi.
Hello. What's up? So what you talking about here, man?
We're talking about how we can have second chances every day in small things, and that's like a graceful thing, right? Somebody determines, I want to get up and walk as a patient. That's like a second chance he's giving himself. Instead of sitting down in the bed all the time, getting weaker, he kind of tries it. Like that, there are so many occasions are there. So how to be present, aware of that, and then really employ them intentionally in our life.
Yeah. So being present in the moment and fixing issues and not staying behind.
Yeah. Usually we have the negativity about, oh, I cannot do this. Oh, this has happened, that kind of. Instead of doing a big lecture about,
people tend to stay stuck in the past, or they stay to their depression, and that becomes their God, or that becomes what they're more worried about in life.
Yeah.
And it comes to the ones that are, in my personal opinion, I think it comes to the ones that are chosen. The ones that are chosen are the ones that are usually the saddest out of all of us.
It's a question of intention. You're right. You say so. In this moment, all I thought about in the past is that there, or all the future is not there. So for me, life is TV, here and now. Doesn't mean I can't learn from the past. Doesn't mean I cannot plan. But when I'm doing something, I'm all into it. That's why I say don't do multitasking. Do one task. Yeah, one task with full attention.
Yeah, you gotta learn from your mistakes and everything.
Yeah,
at that point.
That's fine. But then when you are acting on that lesson, be present.
Yeah. You want to be present in the moment,
Yeah. So yes, for me, actual life is in the present. Okay.
Yeah, you want to live. You want to live life the reason why you want to live life in the present is because if you stay behind, everything's gonna pass you in a heartbeat. You're gonna be like,
exactly. You miss the present moment.
Doing this, you'll be like stuck behind, thinking the opposite.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are in the present means you are really enjoying or doing stuff completely, fully. So you're fully living. you are not letting the present escape, but you are not dominated by the past or the future, but you are focusing more on the present. But you can use information from the past, you can plan for the future, but when you're living, live in the present.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people fail to do these days.
Yeah, because they are drawn into thoughts and they think only thoughts are them. But that is what we're talking about. We have thoughts, that's a powerful medium, that's a very good thing. But if you are slave to it, then it will take its wing and go all over. That's why then say, oh, I have to meditate, I have to get everything calmed down. But if you are living present moment, you won't accumulate these thoughts, so that you don't have to meditate. You can be in the present moment awareness.
Well, for some of us, for some of us like me, it is definitely one of the hardest challenges is to try to stay present and happy in the moment.
Yeah, I have some steps about that, Stevie. What you say is sit down in a calm place in the morning, in the evening for 5 minutes and gather your thoughts all together to one place and then slow them down.
Yeah, and I feel like this is just how I feel. I feel like it's okay to be sad. I feel like it's okay to be depressed. And there's a level to that. You don't want to stay stuck there, which is what they say.
Yeah.
At the same time,
that's why if you have a negative thought, you're depressed about all that, about yourself. The more you feed it, the more deeper you go into it. So just say, in this moment, do I have what I'm thinking about, what I'm imagining about is there? In the present moment, usually it is not. It is only your thinking going on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's not that good.
Yeah. I have a formula I teach in the morning routine. Get up in the morning, delay the train of thought, and then be attentive to whatever you're doing, one task at a time through the day. And at the end of the day, empty your mind and go to sleep. So try that. Be in the present, cultivate the present through the day by being attentive to everything. And at the end of the day, before you sleep, empty your mind consciously and go to sleep. And see how that helps. You have to do every day though.
Well, the thing is this, man, like living in the present, it's hard for a lot of people. I get that, and it's really all about this dog. It's all about your
intention to be present.
Your intentions and about like how much of an open mindset that you have, and how much understanding you have from your past to today.
There is a difference between mindset and awareness, Stevie. Okay, you are human being, you are awake, you are alert, and you are anchored to the present. That is awareness. Mindset is a bundle of thoughts, give you a so-called image and everything, role and all that. Don't get stuck in that. If you get stuck in that, that reinforces itself as ego, as personality, as all that, and then people get caught in the thought.
Oh yeah, people get caught in things like that all the time.
Yeah, they are always, even I was caught like that, but I got relief the moment I understood what this is all about.
Yeah. And the thing is this, like, I have ways of coping with what I have.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like coping mechanism should be I feel like everybody should have a coping mechanism, because like I feel like not one is perfect, and not, in my personal opinion, like not one can really hold yourself up.
Yeah.
Because we need in a godly perspective, we need a savior. But that's like going off topic with what I was saying.
Yeah.
What I was saying was that there is a lot of sad people out here, and you can blame social media. You know, what I do is I like to put God, like the Bible says, you know. It says put God first in everything that you do, obviously.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sad and depressed, and I know I've been through a lot, I still pretend to keep high spirits and high faith and know that things are going to be fine in the end. Because
Steve, I want to present something to you. Okay.
My spirit is gone when I die.
I want to present something to you. Okay. Suppose I don't have anything I need to cope up with, then all the coping mechanisms are not needed. So this clutter of the mind, this depressive feelings, anxiety, they are not there. Then why do you need a coping mechanism? So what my attention is, it's not bad to do the coping mechanisms, but it is much better not to have the need for them. That's when you understand, okay, my own thinking, the way I'm thinking is causing these problems. Let me see, is this thinking is only me, or I'm just thinking only, or am I something different? Then you will discover there's a calm, serene, silent self of mind that is the real of you, that we call it as awareness. The awareness,
Yeah.
You live in awareness, that's what I'm saying. You live in the present moment.
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely am. I feel like we're all working on ourselves, you know, in different ways. Like for me,
very true. Very true.
I'm working on not.
Yeah.
I'm so ashamed to say this because I
No.
know I do this, and this is something I shouldn't do. I know we're not perfect.
Yeah.
But the weed I pertain to do as a coping mechanism. I don't do it like all day, every single day. I mostly just do it in the nighttime so I can just relax and then go to sleep and then wake up the next morning. And
I talk about proactive wellness TV. You know, that means we do so many things proactively so that we don't be ill. Even this thinking thing is a big illness we all have. So what I'm trying to tell people, relate to people is, I don't really cultivate the thinking constantly, but I just be in the moment.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm working on.
Yeah, you are. Each one is different. That's fine, because you don't have to.
Working on coming up off of these things.
Yeah. It takes time because people are unknowingly allow these things to operate, right? And then they are struggling to find. My thing is, I come up and talk about these things I'm experiencing, like a thoughtlessness. But I think when I need to, but I don't carry it on. That many people don't do it. Do something and leave it, that they don't do, because they go on munching on it and thinking about thinking. That's all becomes a big nutcase, like, after a while, So, but if you can know when to think, what to think about, and then leave it there, then you don't accumulate a lot of junk in your mind. Not only we do it by ourselves, but also, you see, the world feeds us all these gadgets, all this information age that is doing a lot of information into us.
Right. Yeah, my mom, which God bless her soul, she's got cancer, sadly. But my mom, she and my grandma, they have always told us, like, growing up, like, pray about it.
Yeah.
Every single thing that we was looking at, that we wanted, like, if you're really wanting to be rich, or if you really want that nice car, whatever, like, make sure you pray on that and you continue to look to God. And basically what they were doing is they were teaching us how to be more reliant on God. And now that I understand that they weren't being selfish, and they weren't trying to hold things from me, right?
Yeah.
They were just trying to teach me to have good faith. That's what they're trying to teach us.
One of my personal realization was, because I was brought up in India, right? and we always worshipped God and prayed and went to puja and all that. But then, yeah, that
Is it Jesus or what God you worship?
no, he's a Hindu. I was born into Hindu, right? But then I
Okay,
kind
okay.
of I kind of don't identify with any religion now because the ancients had this wisdom of seeing the God within us, in all of us. Everybody has that. That
Hey, you know what? That's true.
yeah,
The Bible does say that.
Yeah.
The Bible said that
Yeah.
we're all made in God's image, and we are
exactly.
God's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That they call Brahman. And then people brought this worship and puja and all that to give us a concentration of our mind and thought. But they forgot the real spirit behind it, that we are all having that godly spirit within all of us. And then they kind of pay value to that, but not to the spirit of it. So for me, it's more like our life force. The thing I see in each patient is that being, not their personality, not their whether rich or poor or male or female. I don't relate with that. I relate with Stevie or Peter or anybody coming up as the human beings. Beings first, and then they have the human body and mind. So in that way, it's not egotistically saying, "Oh, I am God." No, it is recognizing the godly force within us and then focusing on that. See, I told you earlier to Peter, one's
Right.
attention has to be poised on one's inner self. Yes, that is the force of God.
Right.
And it does help a lot in so, but then I don't go and ask for the God to give me riches, all that, because
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I already have a peace. I already have happiness and bliss.
No, yeah. That's good. Yeah, you got the spirit. You're
Yeah.
already in spirit.
Yeah.
You got the spirit.
Yeah.
And for me, for you, you got the Holy Spirit, and you're like, yes, I got the Holy Spirit. That's all I need. That's all I want. I'm the same one. This is all I want. I don't really want anything else.
Look at this. Let me tell you something. Look at this. They said your consciousness is your godliness and all that. And from that, you have the body and the mind. Without life entering in you, how can you have the body and mind?
Right.
So they are always saying that in any religion, they're telling us that is God is within you. But we conveniently ignored it, identify somebody, and then we separate ourselves from other people. They are Christians, I'm Hindu. That is not there with me. I'm really truly a world citizen. Yeah, world citizen. And all the beings are the godly
Do you
things.
think that humans? Do you think it's possible that humans could it's possible for them to figure out how they can come out of their body without
Yeah, they are figured it out long time ago. We are conveniently ignoring it. The ancient cultures, they figured this out long time ago.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did a lot of deep and diving into the spiritual stuff.
yeah, exactly. That's what I learned, Stevie. What I learned was they invented a lot of things by going inward into each human being and then developing this meditative awareness and then perceived a lot of truths about the life. I'm trying to share them whatever I understand, whatever that's happening with me, and it's like a continuous uh, learning thing, exploring truth and perceiving truth according to what is in front of us. That kind of perception, not the thought, is important. Like you perceive what is going on within your mind, in your circumstances, you act accordingly with intelligence. That's why we brought in the words of thought and intelligence, perception and data and all. See, all these people are doing is how to get more out of you. They want your attention. And we unknowingly we're giving that attention to things that are not really needed for us.
Yeah.
They want us to buy that. They want us to get this one. Then you'll be happy. I say, no, I don't need them to be happy. My happiness is within me. So the whole thing of pursuing happiness doesn't make any sense to me. I am already happy. Why do you have to pursue happiness?
Well, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is like the only thing I ever wanted from God was probably the only person I wanted from God was a person that I could be with for the rest of my life, and that was all I ever wanted from God. Like there was probably other times when I was a kid, probably prayed and asked for things, but it didn't really happen. I gave up on praying about it. But like I was a kid, I didn't really know much about. I was just learning about the religion stuff, and growing up as a baby kid, growing up in a religious home. But like as I've gotten older, I realized that there is a loving God. There's a real living God that's out there, because what I did.
No, that is the news, Stevie. That is the thing. The ancient wisdom talked about, I am that, So actually, Christianity expressed this much better. He said, I am that I am. Remember that? I am that I am.
I am that I am. I think I heard. Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's a much more profound. So it is telling you the godliness or whatever it is within us, and you have to put all our thoughts aside and be with it. It's already there. That is itself existential.
He's always there. You're right. Yeah.
It's always there, and that is what we have to identify and state it. All these thoughts and everything is taking us away from that.
Right.
We all have to probe this and find out for ourselves, going inward, So that's why I encourage this. I'm doing it, so I don't need to go and tell anybody. I'm happy with that. But I just come on and then share so that people really know what I'm talking about, understand it.
Well, I understand it.
Yeah. The other thing is, because I'm a physician, I see a lot of illness. But there are so many ways we can prevent so many things, right? So already we know modern medicine, science, and the ancient wisdom give us so many tools to be well. I want to promote that because I don't want people to suffer, So that's why I kind of come and share.
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with that, not wanting people to suffer, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like the two religions. I feel like Christianity is the one that gets treated bad and mocked the most. Like you don't hear anybody mocking Buddha. You don't hear anybody mocking, any other like Mary. You hear them not mocking Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No. If you take ancient wisdom, not the current culture, what they said was the truth is only one, but it is approached in different way in different religions. So we don't have to blame each other. We can learn from each other and coexist together. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here for. We're here to learn from each other.
But I don't identify with any religion. I may learn from Hinduism. I may learn from Jesus. I may learn from Allah, all that. But I don't identify with anybody. I'm a human being. Why do I have to identify with anybody?
Yeah, of course. We're all human beings, and we're all going through experiences that are similar, but
But you know what, Stevie? When you go deep into these religions, they all say the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. They all say the same thing. They're all pointing towards the same thing. Be good to your neighbor, and all that.
Yeah, actually, be good to your neighbor because their neighbor is you, and you are the neighbor. You are of the same human tribe.
The same human tribe.
Yeah. As a physician, that's what it is, right? So many different people walk in front of me, but everybody is a human being. They may have different religion affiliation, that's up to them. But for me, no division. They are human beings.
Right. Well, that's what we're supposed to be looked at.
Yes.
Human beings, we're not supposed to be looked at as any type of,
So I don't have to carry the division. I don't have to carry that identification. So my mind is clear. I can accept everybody as human beings. And also, first being, then the humora, which is the humora is body-mind complex. Yeah, everybody is in a different stage, a different way, different lifestyle and all. That's all fine. But essential thing is we are all human beings. Suppose if you have that identification, we don't have to spend so much on this defense budget, right? And all these human loss and human suffering and all that. That is there with a lot of people. I see very sad when I see these human beings are suffering without food, and yeah, so many people are dying. Yeah, you know.
It's it is very sad, you know, and that's that's just the issue we have in the world, you know.
Yeah.
The different religions, and you know, if I feel like there wasn't so many different religions and cultures, I feel like
no, even the religions are there, but the thing is, you go to any country, they identify, I am Indian, you are Chinese, you are American. All these labels are dividing our human tribe, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like dividing, that's basically what I'm saying. Like all these religions are literally like set in place to like divide all of us. Literally, that's really what it's there for.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like go as far as say that's the truth, because we all know that's not the truth. It's just that's just how the world is now, because they don't like Jesus or they don't like.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Whatever.
Yeah, what you're saying is a fact. Yeah, no doubt about it.
But yeah, you know, and that's how the government is making their chips. You know, they put things out there to make everybody confused, and then they turn around and then they do another thing and say, you know, oh yeah, no, I didn't say that. I said that could happen, but then they do a whole other thing. That's like,
no. You see, yesterday also I talked about this. You see, America doesn't want to give the chip technology to China, and China doesn't want to the rare earths to America. But they should be looking at this is all human progress. All humans will benefit. Let's share and build this together.
Right. Yeah, I think what they're afraid of all of us Americans when we eventually catch on to what's actually going on, and that all of us would. You gotta think, if all of us Americans stood together, like as one, there's a lot of Americans, because we're overpopulated. I guarantee you, we could.
It's not just America though. It's all over the world. They should be like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I bet we could probably overthrow the government if we wanted to. And this is the reason why they want us to be split apart, because they don't want us to be on the same mindset, you know. And because they know, like, once everybody's on the same mindset and everybody's thinking on the same line, then that's when everything's about to blow over.
Because they can't think one as one, because they think they are different groups. Republicans, Democrats, and different nations and all that. You know, that's why there has to be an administration to run things, but they don't have to divide everything, and then people also dividing against each other, right? So that's the problem. But all the problems really in your mind initially. Once you understand our own mind, we can come out of that and use it as a tool, not dictating terms to us. That's what's happening with this information overload, too much stuff around and too many phones all the time. So people are kind of addicted to all this. And then people are trying to influence us. They want our attention, right? They say, you are that, you are this, and they kind of aggravate the divisions much more.
Yeah, and what I've learned is that, like, even like anything can be God. Anything. That's what I learned too. Like anything, like your phone, your TV, your dog.
Yeah.
Like anybody or anything that you're investing most of your time in other than Jesus Christ himself or whatever belief someone is, then that's considered like a whole nother, like, yeah, you're giving them, you're worshiping them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And because like I said, we was all made in God's image, and we was all made to worship something. That's what we was made to do.
Yeah.
But that's all based on a belief and everything, whether or not people see it that way or not. So yeah.
I don't have beliefs. I have more questions about life. You know?
I mean, we all do. I got questions too. Like,
Yeah. But belief system, belief system makes us not to think too far. Okay. So that's why I want to question things and learn things from the life rather than come with some set belief. Then my mind don't work that way. Anyway, thank you, Stevie, for coming up and participating in our discussion. And thank you, Peter, as usual. And we can always, okay, something has come up here. Okay. So, thank you, everybody, for coming and joining. Look at the second chances you can give yourself on a simple daily things, okay? And be aware, be in the present moment awareness, and see how everything becomes lighter, easier, meaningful, purposeful, okay? So that's what I do. So there's a silent increase in every small thing in our everyday life, in our intentions. Okay, catch that, and I will see you again later. Unless somebody wants to come up, I would be leaving because I did present what I needed to. So thank you, and I will see you again later. Bye bye.